with bloody in the title, there is a chance that I might like this movie. But let's find out how bloody it might get, starting with the IMDb plot. Abbie Bladecut's family business, a video store, doesn't sound bloody, has thrived by disposing of teenagers to mimic horror movies. Okay, getting there. As the first female slasher, she battles gender bias while realizing the harsh realities behind the mass murders. Okay, we went from no blood to possibly lots of blood. But let's see. So this is a new one. I think it had a somewhat release, and I believe it's on Shutter. If I got that correct, maybe that's wrong. I don't. I don't remember exactly. Some of them I remember, some of them I don't. Anyway, this one I just I say it a lot. I watched it. I almost wanted to kind of watch it again because I had a lot of questions. This one was one I was trying to enjoy and definitely enjoyed some of the stuff in it. As you guys know, there's plenty of there ended up being plenty of blood in this movie, so you guys know that I enjoyed all that. But I was also left with a lot of questions, and I don't know if I just missed something. It was something for us to assume in this movie, or it was just kind of one of those movies that kind of pokes fun of itself, maybe slasher movies, so we were just supposed to go along with certain things. Or maybe I just completely missed it. Well, maybe not paying attention as much as I should have. Anyway, we'll try to get into a few of those questions without ruining into this movie. Fairly new movie still, so some of you might not have seen it, so I'll try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. I don't know there are huge twists and turns. I think as it goes, you kind of guess the direction and where this is going. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about it and some of these questions. And then for those who have seen the movie, feel free in the comment section below or on social media to reach out and explain some of these things to me. Anyway, we do, have Abbie here. Great family last name here. And speaking of great, we had a very good opening scene here. It seemed like, that was going to be the movie, but it ended up just being something they were watching. But Jeffrey Dean is there in the picture, and he's in a scene involving what ends up being some blood and guts and so forth. I'll leave you guys to kind of watch that. But as that, kind of unfolds, we then, pulls away and we see Abbie's watching a film with her father in it. And this is where we kind of get introduced to her father, and the family business and so forth. As it said in the IMDb plot, they have a video store. Not necessarily a blockbuster, kind of more of the small local ones. They're in a certain town, and it's kind of one of those movies that you're in this small town, so stuff is kind of just in that town, kind of oblivious to everything else that's going on. And the video store has all videos, whatever, but I guess the thing they sell the most is horror movies and slasher movies in particular. So the family business has basically become the father killing a bunch of high school students and somehow getting that on video and making movies out of it. And that's basically their bestseller and how they've kind of gone. And along with it comes, some of the slasher stuff, and we learn a few things about, being a slasher stuff that, we know, but they kind of go through it a little bit. As the father is trying to train her, and he doesn't really want her to do it, but she's very eager to be the next slasher, or as it says there, the first female slasher in the family. And but here's where we start to kind of open these doors to question, because she takes, or he takes her on a kill, and he's kind of going through it, and it doesn't go so well for him. He kind of dies, but then gets buried and then comes back, And I'm just like, well, what the hell? Like, where is it that he's going to get buried and come back? I know we're kind of, jumping into true slasher thing where they just don't go away. They come back. Jason come back. Freddy come back. Michael come back. They all come back, and whatever. So, what kind of started off in kind of a somewhat normal circumstance. Now we're in some definitely I guess the best way to explain all these questions are, I guess we're just in a fantasy world, city, town, whatever you want to call it. And only these things are just happening here and whatever. And I guess these people just don't leave and things just happen here. So, but he comes back, but he's not in great shape. So, in order to continue the movies and whatever, she kind of has to take over. Yeah, there's a son. He doesn't do so well. And another good bloody scene. And so basically, at the end of the day, she gets left to take this on. And, she doesn't do a bad job of it. She knows what to do, whatever. She might stumble into it, but, she's okay. But what she has to do with is different than her father, is end up going to the high school and becoming a student there in order to learn a little bit about them and, kind of, find the ropes and find the next teens that need to die. Something obviously different than the father. The father's not going to go to the high school and whatever. And, you can imagine and expect the problem that's going to come with that. She's going to befriend a couple of them and a specific group of them. And then, of course, they're going to be the eventual ones that have to die. So that makes things very complicated. Can she kill people that she's now sort of becoming friends with? And the other question, here's another question, which I also completely missed. There's a yearbook that's given out in the school, and that has all the kids in it. And, the father basically has one, and I don't know if it was just the movie that was doing it, he was doing it, but the way they were showing it was just that. But it seemed magically that kids would get circled. That's who he's supposed to kill. And then when they're killed, they're kind of like crossed off. So what the hell? Like, who's doing this circling? Who's crossing? I mean, do we have some spirit there that we don't know about? Again, is this just a thing we kind of know in horror movies, so we're just like kind of going along with it, like, how the killers, whatever. I mean, usually the killer ends up being somebody related to them or a friend or family member or something like that, and it's crazy. Kind of think about, something like Scream. It's always, one of the characters that are involved some way, or their great cousin, whatever. And but here, we just having kids all of a sudden get circled, and okay, they're the ones going to die. Like, who's circling? Like, where's this coming from? Again, if you know that answer, did I miss it? Did the father, I know they had a discussion about it. Maybe the father said it, but it just seemed like to me, if I remembered it correctly, it's just like, hey, the book circles it, and that's who you're supposed to go kill. But who the hell is circling? Like, what is going on here? Anyway, so we basically have her go to the school, and she meets the friends and whatever. And, eventually, of course, those are the people that get circled, and then she's supposedly going to kill them or not. And obviously, that sets up a bunch of confusion. Between, some of them are easier to kill, or she's more willing to kill than others. And we kind of go down that road until, she has to make the choice of the most important person. Is she going to kill them, or, is she not? And then, obviously, her her dad is going to play a role in it. And we'll see, what happens to him and his legacy as this goes on. And definitely has a very interesting ending towards the end here. And, we'll see, Yeah, I don't want to spoil any of that, but definitely, I guess there's a little bit of a twist at the end, but I don't think that, kind of as it winds down, there's too much unexpected. I think you'll kind of know, what she's doing, where this is going. And then I guess, where it finally ends is maybe a small twist. But again, opens more questions. But I'm not going to question that because then that would kind of spoil stuff. But kind of, taking another step back to questions, it is, and, I just, who's filming this? Like, when they're just like, well, these things become videotape, but who's videotape? We never see a camera crew. There's nobody that goes with them. Uh, you see that it's almost kind of like they're staging it like if it was a movie, but where is the plot coming from? Where is like anything happening in this movie? What, they show, they're like, okay, well, this becomes a movie. Even what happens here becomes a movie that they're going to sell in the video store. But how? Like, it just magically happened? Like, I guess, we're just supposed to assume that this magically happens again. Unless I missed it, I didn't catch an explanation to any of this. Is it just something that happens? I guess we're just supposed to assume that this is just part of the movie and then kind of like a spoof on horror and a spoof on slasher films, and we're just supposed to kind of go along with this. But yeah, there's no film crew here. There's no people filming them, while they're killing. It's the father and early on, it's just the father and daughter, the only one out there. Later on, it's mostly just her. So, this stuff is just magically getting filmed. There's some ghosts filming with them that we don't see, or it just happens and the town is like, oh, that was a great movie. Here's your videos. Go sell it. Like, again, these just little weird, odd things that just are left unexplained. Unless I missed it, I don't know. That very well could be a possibility. I tell you guys all the time, I might have missed something. I always question it and put it to you guys, was it just me? You guys have the same questions? Who's filming this? They do have another guy that they kind of have, I guess you can call him on the inside. He kind of helps them out. But again, he's not filming as far as I saw. He's trying to be an actor in these films, which again is being filmed and directed and written by who? Like, what is happening here? I don't know. I guess we're just, I shouldn't question it. It's just part of the movie and just go with it. I don't know. So watching it, yes, it's bloody. We do get some of that, some really good scenes of blood, and that's done well. And, some of the slasher scenes are fun, and we get some craziness. And again, some of them are kind of set up like if they were a movie, and you kind of see them. There's one where, the couple is going to take a shower and so forth. One's in the shower, one's not. And it's kind of the scene that we've kind of seen before. And then, it kind of goes wrong one way or the other. Ends up bloody, but then, kind of it has its own bizarre little take there to kind of fit this circumstance. And so, yeah, I mean, some of the scenes are almost like it's being filmed, but not really. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about that, but yeah, the blood and the guts, I enjoyed all of that. Kind of, that kind of play on slashers and whatever, and some of the things they kind of hint at or take liberties with, was fun too. But again, I don't know if I'm just taking it too serious, but because I had all these questions, I'm just like, what is... it's always in my mind as I'm watching it, like, what the hell is really happening here? So I don't know. I don't know. So I think, that constant, in my head of what is happening, what it kind of took a little bit away from it. It's definitely a good movie. Definitely, I think if you're a slasher fan like I am, I think it's worth the watch and you want to watch it and so forth. The acting's okay. I think, you'll recognize a face or two in it. I'd say the girl's okay. She grew on me as it went on. I think at the beginning I was kind of like, eh. But I think, as it went on, she grew on me. It does also have, gets a little into the high school thing, which, as I think I've said in the reviews, I guess as I get older, watching movies with the high school kids and whatever, blah, blah, it doesn't relate as well anymore. Like, I'm just like over it. I'm older now, whatever. So when they start getting into that kind of stuff, I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's for another audience now. My time is over. So yeah, there's a little bit of that. But then, at the end of the day, it does come back to the blood and guts. So that's fun. So I think, overall, because of the questions and because of some of the high school stuff and whatever, I think I'm going to end up giving it 3 pools of blood. I think, if maybe I didn't have those questions continuing to run through my mind or whatever, I'd probably give it a little higher score. I tend to lean into stuff that's good with the blood and guts, and I think they don't have any complaints there. They did a good job of that here in this one. But yeah, just some of the other stuff that was just like, nah. So yeah, that's going to be 3 pools of blood out of 5. But definitely if you're a slasher fan and so forth, or like a little bit of blood in your horror, definitely check this out at least. And if you watch it, hopefully none of my questions spoiled anything, first of all. Hopefully, that didn't spoil anything for you. But certainly if you're going to watch it and you watch it, or you've already seen it and you have answers to some of those questions for you, feel free to throw them in the comment section. Straighten me out, and whatever. So yeah, with that, horrorgory-reviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews written in video. Certainly mostly video reviews for a while now, so you can like, subscribe, and do everything else that everybody wants you to do here on YouTube. But if not, no worries, it is okay. I thank you for your time regardless. Twitter, Facebook information down below as well. Reach out to me there, clear my questions, say I'm confused, not confused. Or say, hey, pay attention, stop doing other stuff while I watch these movies. I don't know. And definitely, like I said, in the comment section is there as well to answer the questions. So with that, I will catch you on the next review, horror fans.